Matoshnik, the question is, in your experience in collecting feedback, what have been the collective complaints and grudges that most clients have had about other companies that did work for them in the past? And what are some of the Care Plus items that you have found help add that extra touch for little or no cost? All right, so common complaints. And some of these you can figure out on your own by thinking about what do you hate, what do you dislike when you're dealing with vendors and when you've got to call people. So a great common one would be we all hate it when we call the phone company and we have to sit on hold forever, or when we call and we get outsourced to another country and we can barely understand the person we're talking to. So, part of it's putting yourself in the position of your client and thinking through this stuff. I'm definitely going to give you what I've found to be some, but you're gonna come up with some that we haven't thought of. And so, putting yourself in your client's perspective, thinking about what happens when you hire vendors. What do you dislike? What do you like? What are those cool little things they did that you've never thought of that you can implement in your business? So that's kind of what your mindset needs to be as you're growing your company. You're always putting yourself in your client's perspective, asking friends and relatives and existing clients what they hate. We've gone as far as surveying our clients to to find out what they disliked about their previous company, why they hired us, things of that sort. It's very telling. So one of the very top ones is clients are worn out with not being called back. They're worn out with not getting their emails responded to in a timely fashion. They're tired of calling companies and nobody answers the phone, or somebody calls them back 48 hours later. They're tired of calling companies and the person on the phone doesn't know how to answer their question. They're tired of rude people. They're tired of companies that have inconsistent billing practices. They're tired of companies that force certain practices on them because that's the way the company wants to do it, and it's not in the best interest of the client. They're tired of companies that can't bill a credit card. They're tired of companies that can't email them an invoice or mail them an invoice or send them statements. They're tired of companies that don't close their back gates. They're tired of companies that, when there's a problem, disappear. Companies that don't show up on the same day every week. They're tired of companies that have unprofessional employees, or employees that aren't clean and tidy in uniforms. They're tired of companies that put employees out there on the streets that haven't been background checked, that are potential risks to their families. The list goes on. They're tired of poor quality. They're tired of being lied to. They're tired of excuses. They're tired of people telling them they're going to do something they don't really do it. They're tired of all these things. They're tired of being promised that there's going to be a monthly irrigation inspection and that happens every 3 months. They're tired of not being communicated with, not being checked on, not getting up to walk the property periodically, or having asked for something and it never gets done. So many of those things are the very things that you would be tired of with a lot of the people that you deal with. So again, going back to thinking about it from your perspective, I think that's just a critical element in business, is to really try to get out of what you think's important, what's inconvenient for you, what you think is the way things should be. Who cares what you think? And I know this isn't quite your question, and I'm not directing this directly at you. I'm just saying, as a mindset, it's so easy for us sometimes to get kind of frustrated. We're like, why does the client, why are they saying this or that? Why don't they get it? Why don't they do it this way? Because this is the right way. And it's really important for us to step back, and it's imperative that we try to think about this from their viewpoint. So if you've got a procedure that you do in your company, but time after time your clients hate it and they complain about it, you might want to fix it. So you might want to change it. You might say, well, you know what? I know that this is the right way to do it, but everybody complains about it. Everybody dislikes it. So maybe I can look at it, from a different perspective, and we can go about fixing this to make it a benefit to them, make them happy. So it's really a mindset that I'm trying to communicate here. When you're writing your marketing, when you're writing your sales pitch, when you're putting together your proposals, when you're gathering testimonials that speak to a certain benefit, you really want to go out and you want to find this stuff, and you want to get it from the client's perspective. You want to look at it from the client's perspective, and you want to write these things from their viewpoint, in their language, in their words. Get inside their head. What are they scared of? What do they hate? And it'll generally reveal what all of these points are, whether it's, regardless of the business you're in. So it's general it's general courtesy. It's the general human contact that most people are missing. People want to feel like you actually care. Yes, you're only mowing the lawn, but honestly, mowing the lawn is way bigger than most of us give it credit for. So, going off topic, but this is about thinking about it from your client's perspective. If you're married or you have a spouse, or maybe you think to when you lived at home with your parents, and I'll use an example of your mom. Okay, so sometime, or the female of the house, better said, the female of the house very often, from my observation, and I could be incorrect here, but I've observed this, is more relaxed, more happy, more calm. The family, everything about the family life is better when the home is clean, when things are organized, when things are picked up, and even if the house is dirty, when it is clean, they just feel happier. So think about what happens every time a friend wants to come over. You tidy up the house, you get everything clean. You feel better about your house. You feel better about how it looks before you let somebody come into it. It brings a general sense of peace. Okay? So hopefully I've communicated that right. So now imagine that it could be the husband, but the female especially, when they're coming home to their home, just like when they walk in the door, if there's kids involved, there's toys scattered everywhere, and there's dishes on the sink, and there's 15 messages on the answering machine, and there's this and that and the other, it's immediately a level of stress. Now imagine they come home, they walk in the house is clean. There's no dishes. In fact, the dishes are clean and they're put away. There's dinner already fixed. There's no messages to be returned. The kids are quiet. They're doing their homework. Whatever. There's a general sense of peace. That translates into a happier house. The husband's happier. The wife's happier. Kids are happier. Everybody's happier. Okay, so that's the indoor experience. It's exactly the same outside. Somebody pulls into their front lawn. The lawn looks great. It's green. It's manicured. It looks good. The flowers look awesome. They pull in the driveway. Back of the house looks fantastic. There's no grass clippings blown up into the garage. There's not glass. The fences, gates closed. There's not grass clippings on the driveway. General sense of peace. Whereas even before they got in the house, they come home. There's weeds. The lawn looks horrible. They're reminded yet again, we got to do something about this or that. We got to fix the drain. We got to fix this. Whatever the case may be. Immediate tension. They get home. They entertain. They feel great when the place looks good. They're really self-conscious and they're constantly apologizing when the place looks bad. So, solve those problems. Fix those problems. You're immediately talking to the issues of your client. You're talking to the conversation in their head. You're talking to their fears and frustrations, their hates, likes, dislikes. Think about it from their perspective. So, back to the human connection. Think about a company that you call or a place you go into and frequent in business, and the people are friendly and they're sincere. They're not just, hey, how you doing today, off some canned script. They're sincerely a nice person. It really care. You get the feeling they made eye contact with you. They really care about how you're doing, and they really care when they screw it up, and they do everything they can to make it right. And they call you back and they check, hey, was that resolved? Are you happy? Anything else I can do for you? Before I let you off the phone today, is there anything else I can do for you? Anything? And they spend the time with you to explain something and make sure you really understand it and you really get it. When somebody calls your company and they say, hey, how much does it cost to mow lawn? You don't just say, well, $25. You find out, hey, what are you looking for in a lawn care? What did you hate about the last lawn care company you had? You find out some questions. You actually invest a little time in them, learn a little bit about them, and then you can deliver a solution to them. They feel like you care, like you really, truly care, that you're really giving advice and helping them. When your company gets to that point, when your marketing gets to answering those questions and having that kind of conversation, when your team is supporting your clients like that, you've really got something. It takes some effort to build that, but that's what you want to do. Those are the things. Those not doing those things are what people hate. Doing those things get you noticed and get your referrals. So those are the big things that you want to focus on, and those are the extra touches that really may, for a lot of people, maybe don't seem like extras, but they really are. When you analyze what most companies are doing, those are extra touches. And those are going to get you noticed, and those are going to get you talked about, and those are going to get you a lot of business.